this third English message is a warning, a very important warning, because it actually warns us of what is going to happen in the last days, right? Now, what is the third English message? This is found in Revelation 14:9-11. Okay, so if you have your Bibles with you, please turn it with me, and if you can see it in the screen. Okay, there you go. Okay, it says here that, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, okay, and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be what? Tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no what? No rest, day nor night. There will be no rest for those people who worship those three, it says there, the beast, image, and his mark. So I'm going to study this with you so that we can actually avoid associating with this. When we are connected with the beast or the image or receiving his mark, we will receive the wrath of God. What is the wrath of God? The 7 last plagues. That's the wrath of God. Now, we know who the beast is, right? I think most Seventh-day Adventists are probably familiar who the beast of Revelation 13. Now, the beast of Revelation 13 actually is the same beast that Daniel saw in his vision. That's in Daniel 7. Okay? That little horn that appeared of the fourth beast that Daniel actually described, it says here in Daniel 7, after this I saw, in verse 7 it says there, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible. In other words, he could not even describe the fourth beast because it's dreadful and terrible. Okay? And a strong exceeding, and it had a great iron teeth. Okay? And in verse 8, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. Now, this little horn, okay, we're going to, this is the same beast of Revelation 13, because this little horn here has the eyes of a man, it says there. He has also a mouth speaking great things, and he blasphemed against God, right? He shall speak great words against the Most High, verse 25. And he also, it says here, this little horn was the beast who persecuted the saints of Christ. For how long was that persecution? That was 1260 years of persecution, from 538 to 1798. That was the longest persecution that took place. And there were so many Christians died because of this beast. Okay, now it says here that he will think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time. What is a time? 1 year. And then times, that's 2 years, and also the dividing of time, that's half a year. So if you try to compute that, you will get what? 1260 days. 1 day is equivalent to a year. That's 1260 years of persecution. Now, this is the same beast of Revelation 13. He had a mouth speaking great things. That's in verse 5. And also 42 months is the same thing as a time and a times and a half a time, right? Because 1 month is 30 days. If you multiply it to 42, you will still get the same total. Okay? Now, I don't want to dwell with this beast here because we already understand who the beast is. Actually, Great Controversy tells us that this beast actually is the same as the woman of Revelation 17. Okay? Because the beast is a religious body. Okay? A religious body. It was actually, according to this, a Great Controversy, in the book Great Controversy, this symbol, as most Protestants have believed, represents the papacy. Okay? So it was actually, even the pioneers and the historians describe this as the papacy, that little horn who came out from this fourth beast. Okay. Also, this is the same woman of Revelation 17. Okay, remember this woman of Revelation 17? It said, I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. Upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, and abomination of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. This is the same beast, that little horn, who persecuted the saints of Christ. That's why it says here, he was drunken with the blood of the saints. Okay? And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. Now, who is this woman? According to the Great Controversy, it says here, that power that for many centuries maintained despotic sway over the monarchs of Christendom is Rome. That's it. Rome. Roman Catholics. That church actually was the church who persecuted those Christians in the past. Now, is he going to be still going to be persecuting the Christians of today? He is still behind. Even though he received a deadly wound, but his wound was healed. So in other words, he is still part of the persecution. Okay, now let's go to the image. Now, we are not associated with this beast because we don't worship in the church, especially Sunday, right? So basically, we're not connected, so we avoid that. Well, how about the image? Now let's go to the image, because it says there, whosoever worship the beast and his image. So I'd like to study with you who this image is. Very important that we understand this, because if we are associated with the image, then we will still partake of the plagues, right? And the image is also another religious body. If the beast was a religious body, the image is the same thing. Okay? Now, who is this beast? Actually, who is this image? Okay? According to the slides here, what is the image, or who could represent the image of the beast? In Revelation 13, verse 11, it says there, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So John actually saw in his vision another beast which had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he was coming out of the earth. Remember, waters represent people, but this beast came up from out of the earth. That means here in Great Controversy, he must arise in a territory previously unoccupied. Now, most pioneers or theologians actually, in the Great Controversy 440, if you can see it there, what nation of the New World was in 1798 rising into power, giving promise of strength and greatness, and attracting the attention of the world? The application of the symbol admits of no question one nation and only one meets the specification of the prophecy. It points unmistakably to what? To the United States of America. So America is going to be the lamb-like beast. But America is not the image, it's just the lamb-like beast. But we have to know what is the... Now here in Revelation 13, verse 15, you see that America will have power. It says there, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Now, how will the United States, if the lamb-like beast is the United States, how will the United States give life or form the image of the beast? How will he do it? Let's find out. Okay? Now, in the next slide, it says here, but what is the image to the beast and how it is to be formed? This is from Great Controversy 443. The image is made by 2-horned beasts. Now, the 2-horned beast is the United States, okay? And is an image to the beast. It is also called an image of the beast. Then, to learn what the image is like and how it is to be formed, we must study the characteristics of the beast itself, the papacy. Now, how did Rome became the beast, or became the the beast of Revelation 13, how he did become a beast. It says here, when the early church, when that church, I'm talking about the Catholic Church, the Church of Rome, when that church became corrupted by departing from the simplicity of the gospel and accepting hidden rites. What are those hidden rites? Those customs and traditions of men. You know, those customs and traditions of man. She lost the spirit and power of God. And in order to control the consciences of the people, she sought the support of the secular power. The result was what? The papacy. So when a church actually uses the civil power to actually implement their decrees, what's going to happen? That will result the papacy, become the beast. So it says here also, a church that controlled the power of the state and employed it to further her own ends, especially for the punishment of the heresy. So in Great Controversy 443, in order for the United States to form an image of the beast, the religious power must so control the civil government that the authority of the state will also be employed by the church to accomplish her ends. Now the question is, how will the religious power control the civil government? Remember that when we talk about the religious power is composed of what? Of all the churches. So the only way to control the government is all the churches must unite. Otherwise, if they're not united, then they're not able, because there is going to be one who will protest. So if all the churches will unite, then they can actually control the government. They will have power. Okay? Once they can control the government, they will have the authority of the state to employ it, then persecution will happen, right? Now the question is, are the churches united already? Are they beginning to unite? Okay? So let's find out. It says here, the image is made to the first or leopard-like beast, which is the one brought to view in the third angel's message. By this first beast is represented the Roman Church, an ecclesiastical body clothed with civil power, having authority to punish all dissenters. The image to the beast represents another religious body clothed with similar power. The formation of this image is the work of that beast, whose peaceful rise, it's talking about the United States, peaceful rise and mild professions render it so striking a symbol of the United States. Here is to be found an image of the papacy. When the churches of our land, uniting upon such points of faith as are held by them in common, shall influence the state to enforce their decrees and sustain their institutions, then will Protestant America have formed an image of the Roman hierarchy. So when all the churches are going to be united, then America have formed an image to the beast. Okay? Now what must occur though? Before all the churches are going to be united, what must occur first? What must occur before any of the present churches can form into an image of the Roman Catholic Church? What must occur first? It says here in the Great Controversy, what must occur? It was apostasy that led the early church to seek the aid of the civil government. It was apostasy. So in order for the image to be formed, there must be an apostasy in every denomination, in every church. Okay? That's what it says here. And this prepared the way for the development of the papacy, the beast. Said Paul, there shall come a falling away, and that man of sin be revealed. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3. So apostasy in the church will prepare the way for the image to the beast. The question is,